Hello again. Beautiful initiates of the Mystery School for Women, Lionsgate 888. How are you feeling so far? This is the most powerful container I have ever held yet, and this is paid containers, free containers, any kinds of containers that I've ever held. This is the pinnacle so far. So I just want to celebrate you for being here. And even if you're taking this journey on your own time and catching the replays or the recordings, this is huge. Your devotion, your commitment to really being here and getting so much out of this experience. This is you initiating yourself. This is the power that you bring to your life, is taking up space, taking everything that you can from every opportunity that is presented to you that you can feel resonates with your soul. This next transmission, it's about tapping your creative genius. I wanted to call it that because I didn't want to spoil the actual process we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 3 hurdles of creation. Essentially, this is about taking an idea. This is an idea that you have, something you want to create. Whether it's a project or a book or a teaching or a business or a piece of art or an entire legacy. This is how we take an idea and how we make it something real, something that exists in this world, a realm of its own, a creation that has its own essence. How do you go from just an idea to a real, existing, living thing? What I'm going to teach on in this transmission are the 3 things that stop us from creating. And it may, from the first exposure, sounds like, well, you know, Katarina, I would like to go straight into how to create. Let's not focus on the negative. I want to know how to create. I want to tap my creative genius, and I want to bring my ideas to life. I don't want to focus on what, gets in the way. But this is the key. The key is realizing what stops you. Because here's the kicker. When you have an idea, it within itself, it carries the seed of it already exists. We talked a little bit about shifting timelines already. So when you can imagine something, it imagines you. When you can think of something, when you can envision something that doesn't exist yet in the physical, the fact that you can see it existing in itself is the seed for the existence of itself. How does this make sense? Well, let's take a light bulb, for example. Nothing like that existed before it was invented. And while it was being invented, there was no confirmation for a long time that it can actually happen because there was so much failure along the way. And yet, what kept the creator going? What brought the idea to life, essentially, besides going for it? It's that it existed in imagination. It existed in the vision. It existed as a complete, real thing from the moment that it was conceived by the mind. So, what if you stop? What if you quit? What if you try and you fail, and you try and you fail, you try, you fail, and then you're like, you know what, screw it. It's just not meant to be. Either it never gets done, or it gets done by someone else. But you can very well walk away. However, if you know what makes you walk away, then you are that much less likely to quit. We've talked about will. We've talked about your gifts. We've talked about your channel. Now we're going to talk about creation. Not just your destiny and your future. Not just bringing your gifts through yourself and being a host to the power of your spirit. Here we're talking about bringing your idea to full fruition. Creating things that don't exist yet. Okay, let's dive right in. In my recent ayahuasca ceremonies, I have asked for this clarity. I specifically set an intention to receive a perfect manual for not just myself, but specifically my intention was to receive a perfect process that I can teach, that I can transfer to others, other creators, other visionaries. Something that I could give you, something that you can take, something that can help you take your idea and make it real. And I was given this blueprint. I was given the perfect process for understanding the phases of creation, which is the same thing as the 3 hurdles of creation. So let's start with the first one. You have an idea. I'm gonna use this mystery school. I have an idea for this experience. And in my idea, it's like, I can see it. You know, I can see a space. I can see the date. I have an idea. On 888, the Lion's Gate, a powerful portal. I'm going to hold space for initiation for women. And I'm going to transmit these powerful activations, these teachings that are experiential. I'm going to lead an experience where you get to initiate yourself into a new awareness of how powerful you are and all the different ways in which you can apply your tremendous power. It's an idea. The first hurdle of creation is validation. let's use another example. You have an idea for a book. Let's just take that. There's so many things that you can create. This is an easy one. Let's say you have an idea for a book. And you have this idea, you're like, I have a story. Maybe it's a fantasy, maybe it's like fiction, right? Maybe it's a lived account, like you've lived through something. You're like, you know what? I think this would be an incredible book. I lived through something, I experienced these things, and the world could benefit from this story. Or maybe it's a whole world, and you're like, I see these characters and the storyline, and it's like this whole world, and I can see people just like reading it, and they're in this world, and they like, it's a paradigm, it's a reality that I see, and it could be such an incredible book. The first hurdle of creation is validation. What I mean by this is the first wall we run into with our ideas is a question of who's gonna read it? For a book, for an experience like the mystery school, who's gonna join it? Who's even gonna participate? Who's gonna buy my painting? Who's gonna shop at my business? Validation. It's not about the idea. The first hurdle is about you. Because the question of who's gonna buy it, who's gonna read it, who's gonna join, who's gonna be there, it's not about the idea. It's about you. It's about validation by other people. Who's gonna join the mystery school for women? The answer is whoever is meant to be there. And it's not answered very easily, because it's like, what kind of an experience is it going to be? What kind of frequency is it going to hold? What kind of frequency is going to be behind it that's going to call in the people? This is about the actual idea, but that's not what we're thinking about. When you ask yourself, who's going to buy my book? It's not about who's going to enjoy the book. It's about who's going to buy a book from me. Who's going to sign up for my experience? Who's going to buy my art? It's about who is going to validate me as the creator. And a lot of times we get stuck right then and there, because it's like there's a fear. No one's going to join. No one's going to buy my book. No one's going to buy my art. No one's going to look at it. No one's going to listen to my music. Whatever your creation is, no one's going to validate me as a creator. And so we get distracted from an idea and we start thinking, well, how am I going to promote it? What's going to be the cover of my book? What's going to be the price of my art? You haven't even painted it. Who's going to listen to my song? You haven't even released it. We get caught up in this imaginary hurdle of trying to calculate whether or not your idea will be validated when it exists. But it doesn't yet. Let's imagine the light bulb example. Who's going to use it? Everyone's using, the candles and the whatever they had, the little burning things that that would burn for a long time. Like, who's gonna they're gonna need electricity, and then that's not even a thing yet. And then who's there? The glass, what manufacturing company? Like, where is it gonna be produced, and how much is it gonna cost? Like, there is no way that with this need to have your idea validated, that you're going to create it. Because your need for validation kills it in infancy. Who is going to buy my book? Who is going to join my experience? Should I even create it? What's on the other side of this hurdle? No one buys it. No one joins. No one listens. Okay. Is that about the idea though? Is that about your creation? Or is that about you? The answer is, it is about you. We don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to put something out there and get exposed and fail. We don't want to be failures. It's true. It's deeply ingrained in us. So when we run against this wall, run up against this wall, and we realize, like, I have no clue if anyone will even read it or join it or listen to it, if people will ever buy it or want it. Well, that's all right, because the thing doesn't even exist yet. And yet we are so concerned with trying to find some way to protect ourselves from failing because of the fear that we will not be validated. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but it's a pattern in our consciousness that is the first hurdle of creation that stops us from taking our idea and turning it into a creation. If you want to write a book, what do you think is the first step? Sit down and start writing, right? If I want to put on a mystery school for women, what's the first step? Well, come up with a schedule, create a space where it's going to be held, and start talking about it. The painting, get the canvas, get the paints, start painting. The music, get your guitar or whatever it is and write the lyrics and sing it. Or whatever. But you get the idea. The first step in creation is creation. Like, take the first step. What is the first step? Well, what am I going to talk about? Okay, here's the schedule. All right, where is it going to be held? In the space. Okay, set the space up. All right, and how are people going to find out? Start talking about it. But we don't do that. In most cases, we stop at who's going to buy it, who's going to want it, who's going to join it. I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet. And so, because I don't know, I don't want to fail. I don't want to write a book that no one ever reads. So let me first figure out who's gonna like it, and then I'll write it. But it doesn't work like that. Because until it is written and it's a book that people can read, there is no guarantee that anyone's gonna read it, because there's nothing to read yet. It's just an idea. We kill it in infancy. First step, first wall, validation. Who is going to validate me as a creator? I don't know. Okay, let me figure that out first, and then I'll create the thing. It doesn't work like that. So there is a little bit of an ego death required. And when I say ego death, it's not a complete, annihilation of your identity. That's never what I mean, okay? So what I mean here is you have to say, I don't know if anyone's gonna join or like it or read it or listen to it or take any action towards my creation. I don't know. Because the thing doesn't exist yet. So I'm not going to worry about it, because this is not important, because it's really not about me. The idea I have, I'm going to choose the significance of the idea itself, and actually create it. And then we'll see. So what I mean by ego death in this specific example is you have to deny yourself thoughts and consideration about who is going to validate your idea. You have to say, it's irrelevant. We'll see. I'm going to create it, and then I'll find out. This is putting your idea above yourself, above validation, above needing to know whether you're gonna succeed or fail. You, as a creator, whether you are going to succeed or fail. Because when you turn your idea into creation, that's success in itself. Validation is irrelevant. If someone does buy and read your book, this is about them. It's not about you. It's because this book is valuable to them. If I put on a mystery school for women and you decide to join, it's not about me. It's about you. Because who is this for? It's for the person who it is for. And only that person can ever know. But they can never decide unless the thing actually exists. So to overcome the first hurdle of creation, you need to set your validation aside. And you need to not concern yourself with figuring out whether you are going to succeed or fail as a creator. Because if you actually create your idea, that is success in itself. And validation has nothing to do with it. Now, the second hurdle of creation, gets a little trickier from here. The second hurdle of creation, you set your ego aside and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to worry about who's going to buy it or not. I'm just going to create it. And the second hurdle is the concern that your creation is going to be misinterpreted. Like, what if I create mystery school for women and the people that join, the women that join, they're not gonna get it? Like, what if the people that attend this experience, they're not gonna listen, they're not gonna watch, they're not gonna get it, and they're not gonna be the right people for it? What if I write a book and it's completely taken out of context? And the story that I share, people don't get it. People don't get what I meant. They take it the wrong way. What if I put this piece of art out and, it's the public decides, this is profane. This is meaningless. This is empty. What if I release this piece of music and the people who listen to it are like, this is not the right era. This is not the right time. Doesn't resonate. So the second hurdle of creation is we want to control how our creation is received. We want to know beyond shadow of any doubt that whatever we create gets received the way we want it to be received. We want to control the outcome. We want to control how other people interact with our creation right away. Well, once we get over, okay, it's not about me getting the book, all right? I'm just going to put on this experience. I'm just going to create. And then it's like, okay, I'm creating, and I'm writing about this, I'm speaking about this, I'm conveying a message here. A little interruption once again. What if it's taken out of context? If you are in personal development, if you are someone who works with people and your service is, you're a teacher, you're a guide, you're a coach, right? Even let's say you're a teacher in school. What if I teach this class and the students, they don't get it? What if I teach them these formulas and my students, they can't understand? They don't get it. How can I make sure they get it? How can I make sure they understand? How do I make sure they understand it the right way? As a mentor, I take on a client, okay, how, I know exactly what I want to give them. I know exactly what I want to teach them. But what if they don't get any results? What if they don't even listen? What if they don't even show up? What if they show up and they don't, they get it the wrong way, and then they're like, you taught me this, and in reality I meant to teach them this. And it's like, how do I guarantee that people will receive my creation the way I want it to be received by them? How do I control other people? Control is the second hurdle of creation. And the reality is, you can't control other people. And you can't control how your creation will be received. Some, they will be like, this is the best thing. Some will read your book and be like, wow, you changed my life. Some of you being part of the mystery school here, you're going to be like, Katarina, this day had an impact on me. And some of you, you may feel like, okay, I'll take it or leave it. Some things yes, some things no. Okay. And maybe some of you will never even listen to any of the content that I'm releasing here. It's like, yeah, I signed up, it sounded cool, and then like other things happened, and okay, whatever. It was free. So, can I control that? No. No. Can you control that someone picks up a piece of your art, looks at it, and goes like, wow, that's a bunch of paint on canvas in random order. That makes no sense. Can you control that? No. You want for someone to pick it up and be like, this is a masterpiece. It makes me feel something. But the reality is, someone may not get it. And someone may get it the wrong way. Someone may get the opposite effect. Like, this made me feel worse. This is a fear. Like, right? You're like, I don't want to think about this. No, but it's true. And you can't control it. So, should you just not create? No. Not only that, but the key to the second hurdle of creation, the control, is that knowing that you cannot control how your creation will be perceived. You have to create it with the right person in mind. You have to create it for the one who will get it, for the one who it is meant for the one who will love it. Full well knowing that it's probably not going to be everyone. Full well knowing that some will not get it and will probably hate it. Because, why? Because it's them. Because it's not for them. Because it's the way that they are. You can't control that. But here's the thing, the intention behind your creation has to be for the right person. All day long today, every single transmission so far, Do you think I'm speaking to the person who will not get it? No. No, I'm speaking directly to you. And I mean you. I mean you specifically, the one watching this now, whenever that is. I'm speaking to you because I know you will get it. And if there is someone who doesn't, I can't control that. But my creation is not for the one who doesn't get it. Even though that's possible that it could happen. But that's not what fuels my creation. What fuels my creation is the right person. But I surrender control of whether you get it or not. That is up to you. My creation is perfect for the one it is meant for. And then one becomes ones, and it becomes many. But there is no telling that there won't also be many that it's not right for. And I can't control that. And I'm okay with that. This is where you get serious about your creation, because when you consider that there will be people who will not get it, who it's not for, and you say, okay, that's all right. I know I can't control that. However, I will create. And I will create with the right person in mind. The one who will love it. The one who will get it. The one who it is meant for. Now we come to the third hurdle of creation. And this is where it gets a little interesting. Because this is not where a lot of people even get to play. The third hurdle of creation, beyond your validation, or are they going to buy from me? Are they going to think that I failed as a creator? And beyond, how are they going to receive it? Are they going to get it or not? Beyond that control, beyond the validation, we get to the fear of success. Oh yeah, I'm sure you heard of this. And, maybe you've seen some posts on the internet that go like, or maybe videos that go like, you may be afraid of success and you don't even realize it. And you're like, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, that's what I am, afraid of success. That's why I'm not successful yet, because I'm afraid of success. That makes sense. In the back of your mind thinking, not really, like, if I was afraid of success, I'd already be successful, because I'm not really afraid of success. Come on. It doesn't make sense to think that you're afraid of success, because this is like top level problem. Before you get to where you're afraid of success, you're already not afraid of being seen as if you failed, or being misunderstood in your creation. Like, this is high, top level problem. Your creation is underway already. You may have even created several powerful things. This is where you get the fear of success. And what does that even mean? What if my creation is all I'm ever known for? Just think about it. Little side story. I really loved a show, still do. I still rewatch it occasionally. And I was a teenager, so it brings me back to like right around the time that I was like in high school in Moscow, and then I moved to United States with my parents, and I was in high school here, and it was just like the right time for it because I was a teenager. It's a show about teenagers. It was like perfect. The show is Gossip Girl. It's its own world. Loved it. Still do. Love it. Love it. Love it. There are two characters on that show. Like there's a few lead characters, but they're like very specific. There's this girl Blair and this guy Chuck, and they're like, other characters are pretty interesting too. Other characters are also like in lead roles, but these two, they have their own aesthetic. They have their own kind of like maybe a little more dark vibe to them. They're a little more daring on the dark side, and like doing things that are kind of bad, and yet you still kind of like them. These two characters were iconic. I mean, people were obsessed with them. And recently I was rewatching the show, and I'm like, I wonder what the two actors that played these two characters, what they're up to nowadays, because I haven't heard of them again. And I find them on social media, and I go looking through their accounts. And guess what? People are still talking about that show in the comments on their posts. These two characters, they've played other roles, they've done other things. They're like, the show was a while ago, probably almost a decade ago. And people don't see these two actors as anything else other than these roles that they played in that show. Like, one of them is acting in other movies, other shows, but he's always seen as that character. And the woman, I think she may not be acting as much anymore, but she has like other projects and she's doing other things. And all the comments are like, "Hi, Blair. Blair, you're iconic." And that's not even her name. That's the name of that character from that show. a decade ago. Okay, so this is a fear. What if you go viral with your creation and you become a meme? What if you write something and it doesn't matter what you write after that? You will only be known for that creation. This fear is genuine. It's an actual hurdle, because it's like, what if my creation outshines everything about me? What if it overwrites what I am and the complexity of who I am and everything else that I've created? What if it replaces me? Now I'm gonna take you to a different paradigm with this transmission. This is the same as motherhood. I don't have any children. I'm certain that I'm on a path of not mothering any children of my own in this lifetime. However, a huge part of womanhood is our capacity to be a mother. And this is the same exact 3 hurdles that show up when you become a parent, when you choose to bring a life into this world. First one is like, am I going to be a good parent? Am I going to be a good mother? Will I fail as a parent? This is about validation. Will my children think of me as she was a good mom? Will other people think that I'm a good mom to my children? First one. The second one is, what if I can't control who my child becomes? Well, you can't. This is true. You can't. They will become their own person. They won't be an extension of you. They won't be a mirror image. They won't be a carbon copy. They won't be a mini you. They'll be their own person. They might be very different from you. And this is tough, Because it's like, I wish I could kind of have a say in who they become, but the reality is, it's probably not true. You can do the best to raise them, but who they become is up to them, because they are their own person. So you can't control who your child becomes. And then the final hurdle is, what if I lose myself in being a parent? What if I lose myself in raising my child? What if there's nothing left of me and I'm just a mom? And this is scary. Just like being known only for that one creation that you birthed and nothing else, even though there's like a multitude of things that you are and you do and you have, and it's like, no, but you're Blair and Chuck from Gossip Girl forever. It doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to be that. That's scary. You're the meme girl about kombucha or whatever it is. Like, you're the girl on that viral video that, said whatever. That's not something that you can control. That's not something that you should fear, because it can happen. But if it does happen, you have given the world something iconic. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with success that scares the living lights out of you, because it can be very scary. What if I can never go back to being unknown? What if I'm famous? No, and for a lot of people, they say, oh, I would love to be famous, but it's like on the deeper subconscious level, it's a genuine fear, because it's like, what if I can't leave my house and I'm like recognized everywhere and I'm known as the girl from the meme, and I just want to be me. What if that gets taken away from me? It might. You might be known for your creation to an extent that scares you. But you have to be willing to be okay with that. Because otherwise, on this deep subconscious level, you're going to stop yourself from creating. And what happens when we have an idea and we quit because we're afraid we're going to be a failure and no one's going to validate us? And then maybe we don't quit, but then we quit because we can't control how our creation is received or the shape that our creation takes. Or maybe we get past even that and then we quit because it's like, I don't want to be known for this thing. I have so many other things and I just want my life. I want to live in peace. I don't want to be known for this one thing. I don't want wild success. I don't want fame. I don't want my life to spiral out of control because of my creation. There are so many ways to quit. But what if you quit? And you live your life in the shadow of, I wonder what this idea could have become. Or another scenario, you see someone else channel this idea because you weren't going to do it. So God gave it to someone else. And you see them do it. And you're like, damn it. I had this idea before they did. I wish I was the one who did it. It's okay. It happens all the time. How many ideas did you have that you didn't bring to life? I know I've had thousands. But there are ideas that I have brought to life. Like this one. And it's worth it. I know it because I can feel how this experience is resonating with you. I'm reading the comments, I'm reading the feedback, but beyond feedback, beyond comments, I can feel your energy. I can feel the significance of this experience for you. And I can feel the significance of this experience for me, because these transmissions, they've been waiting to be birthed, to be shared, to meet their match in you. So what if you overcame the 3 hurdles of creation? And what if you made it about your creation? Be it as it may, whether you get the validation, whether it is received the right way, whether it becomes the only thing you're ever known for. What if you set it all aside and you say, my idea deserves to exist as a full-fledged creation, and I'm committed to it, no matter what. Another opportunity to spend 3 months with me is called Pure Creation. This is the meaning of my name, by the way. Katarina comes from Ekaterina, which is Greek for pure. And Barry, this is a shortened Jewish last name that has been on the American side of my family that I chose for myself, given 2 options. When I was becoming of age, my mom said, hey, you know, I carried on my maiden name and I didn't change my last name for when I got married, and so I want you to have the same choice. So I chose my father's last name. And my father's last name, my last name, is Barry. And it speaks to Kabbalah, and it speaks to specifically the aspect of creation, the aspect of God that is creation. So my name translates as pure creation. This is the meaning. And so here's your invitation to spend 3 months with me, bringing your ideas to life. Once again, this is a space of accountability where I will hold you accountable to creating your ideas. In addition to that, you will run into all 3 hurdles that I just mentioned. And you're going to want to quit. Let's be honest. Did I want to quit in the process of creating Mystery School for Women? Yeah. I actually talked about it in one of the previous transmissions. About the will. It's like the will being tested. Sure. It's like, oh, I did this wrong. I messed this up. Or what if no one joins? What if not the right people join? What if it's not received well? What if I can't, blah, blah, blah. This is going to happen. It happens all the time. It happens all the time for me. It happens in every creation. This is how it works. You're going to want to quit. You're going to think no one's going to get it or buy it, or you're going to have these fears. And we're going to walk with them. And we are going to bring your ideas into full-fledged living existence together. Now, of course, this is your work, but I'm going to be with you every step of the way for 3 months, and you get to decide walking into this, what ideas you want to create and bring into full-fledged existence in the span of 3 months together. Now, as with all the transmissions here, this is an experience that you get to share with me today. And I know that a lot of you here, like listening to this, whether it's in real time or on replay, like I feel the energy of you here. And this is like, I love this information. Man, this is brilliant. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to take notes on it. This is so, like, I'm getting so much out of this. And I'm so happy. This is the intention. But there is a difference between intellectual understanding and action, embodiment, living what you learn and making it part of your reality. So if you want to take this process and apply it, not just intellectually know about this, but like apply it and experience taking your ideas and fully fledging them out in real material world to where they exist in this material reality on planet Earth, where your ideas become creations that other people can experience and interact with. I want you to do this with me because the accountability element is everything. When it comes to creation and overcoming the hurdles of creation, it's too easy to quit when it's just you. Because it's all in your head. It's an idea. It's just an idea. Maybe not this time, maybe later, whatever. But when you have committed to your creation and someone else is holding you accountable, not only that, but someone is lovingly holding space for you to overcome what's in your way. It's a different experience. And it's an experience that you can intentionally use to take something from an idea to a full-fledged creation while being supported and held accountable. This 3-month-long experience, just like the other experiences I have mentioned in previous transmissions, is $321. Or you can do a payment plan of $1, $2, $3 per month for 3 months. There is, as I mentioned, a master key. And the master key includes this journey, the journey of pure creation. It also includes the journey of journaling. And it also includes the Master Oracle. Okay, so there is something else. We're going to cover it on the final transmission. So the Master Key includes a full year with me, where every 3 months we have a different focus. You step into the mastery of working with divination, becoming a master oracle, to serve yourself, to be your own medicine, and also to serve others if you so desire. You write your future, you co-create your destiny. You use your will consciously in the journey of journaling. And finally, for now, there's one more, but you spend 3 months taking your ideas and making them full-fledged creation. This is 888. Now, I know that I'm going to get a question about this. I can feel it. It's a valid question. Can there be a payment plan for the journey of all journeys that are included? The Master Key. Yes. Yes. It is 8 per month. It ends up being a little bit more than the 888, but it is very doable. I know this. I know this. I know this. I know this. It's doable. And I have several clients who prefer this because by being current with your payments and by being connected to like, I'm paying for this experience, I'm in it, I'm doing it, it actually keeps you more grounded in the work. So I'm a big fan of payment plans. Sometimes I like to pay in full. Sometimes I like to do a payment plan. It depends on the kind of frequency that I'm playing with. So I don't have a preference. You can do either one. And if you're curious what else is part of the Master Key, you're going to want to listen to the final transmission. Because it's pretty big. So there's a couple more things that I have up my sleeve. But Master Key is available. It is 888 or 88 per month. It's a full year with me. Every 3 months, we have a different focus. And I love year-long containers. There's nothing like it. I love, love, love year-long containers. All my serious clients, like all the deepest, closest relationships that I have with my clients are in year-long containers. So this is truly something that can change. Not just, I don't want to say change you because that's not my job. This is where you can see the difference. This can make a change in your life because you are committed to making these changes and you're committed to this growth and you're committed to this focus, this dedication. Just like you're committed to taking part in this mystery school and watching everything that is here. That is commitment right there. And this is how you get the most out of it. So Master Key, I would recommend. This is exclusive for Mystery School. It's not anywhere else. This is all for here. I'm giving it my all because this was meant for you. And also, if you are resonating more with like, okay, I want to do a specific journey. Like this is more important for me than the other things. Like I want 1 or 2, that's available. And the separate journeys are 3 to 1 or 1 to 3 per month for 3 months. That's all of them. There's a 4th one that we're going to talk about in the next transmission, which will happen in an hour from now. And I'm starting to see some comments. So I'll take some time and connect with you and respond to some comments. I even had an idea of some of your shares in the comments. It's just kind of hard to navigate the Facebook comments because then you get a response and then it sends you to some random place in the video. And it's like, it's just very confusing. So that's not the strongest aspect of this platform. So some of the things that you're sharing in the comments, I'm going to message you directly and just respond. If there was a question or a vulnerable share or something that you brought up that I have something to speak on to you directly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Facebook message you and we can chat. So, yeah, let me get off. We have a 4th transmission and then we have the closing ceremony. I'm looking forward to seeing you on transmission number 4. And transmission number 4 is make your dreams come true. So I'll see you then.